Hello, USBGF Facebook fans. Phil Simborg again with your tip of the day. Would you like to become an expert checker player? If you really want to be good at backgammon, that's half the battle. The other half is to become an expert with the cube. But if you want to become an expert checker player, how are you going to get there? You're not going to get there by playing. You will not learn by playing. You learn by practice and study, by a process called deliberate study. The best way to become an expert checker player that I know of is to start with the opening moves, understand what all the right moves are, and why they're right. Most of you probably have a pretty good understanding of the opening moves and what's best, and most of you have memorized the right opening moves. But then the next step is to go to the second roll, and that's really easy to do. It's a simple process. It doesn't take brain surgery, and if you have extreme gammon, you've got a real good aid to help you. Let's pretend that your opponent is blue and he rolls an opening 6-1. Ask yourself how you play every single roll. Start out with 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and so on. Go through every roll and see if you're right. For example, a 1-4. How would you play a 1-4? Ask yourself how you would play it, and then hit any button, because they've all been rolled out for you. If you put this on unlimited games, and you can see it's already been rolled out for you, and you can see immediately with the arrows, use the arrow, what the right play is. Now, why is that better than slotting the 5-point? Think about it. Ask yourself why. Study it. If you don't know why, then you need to do some reading. You need to take a lesson. I'm not trying to be self-serving here because I do give lessons, and I do explain this in detail. But there are articles out there that explain this. Dick Rice has written a few very good ones on extreme gammon. As other authors have written exactly why it's better to split here than slot. But see if you can make up a story yourself as to why it's better, and see if you can remember and understand why this is a better play. How would you play a 5-1? Again, it's right to split. It's better than slotting by about 3.5%, which is a lot for the early game. How would you play a 2-1? Well, now it's wrong. Now it's right to slot the point. How did I know that? Am I a genius? Albert Einstein would not have been able to figure this out without deliberate practice and without practicing and looking at these positions and then trying to figure it out. You can't learn this by playing, because you'll only remember what works and doesn't work, and usually you mostly remember what doesn't work. But here it's right to slot with a 2-1, but not with a 4-1 and a 5-1. See if you can figure out why. I'll just give you a hint. In this case, with a 2-1, you're much more likely to make the 5-point with slotting. The number of times that you get hit, plus the number of times that you might cover when you don't get hit, works out to be pretty good for you. It's closer to 51% of the time. Whereas with a 4-1, when you make a 4-1 slot, you get hit on this checker on the 9-point with 5-3 and 6-2, and that's enough more hits to keep you from being able to make the cover. The same thing with 5-1. You don't get hit as much with 5-1, but you don't have as many covers. So that's the reason. But you can find the reasons by reasoning through them, or by getting some help, or by reading and studying the game. But at least know what the right play is. These plays come up constantly. The second roll of the game is the second most common position you'll find after the first roll of the game. And there's no excuse for not studying this if you truly want to get better at backgammon. That's how you improve. Deliberate practice. So you finished with the 1s, go through the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and so on. Then make a different opening roll for your opponent. Let's give him a opening 6-5 and figure out how you play a 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, and so on. That's how you learn backgammon. It's deliberate study. The giants aren't just luckier. They aren't just smarter. They put in the time. They have all studied these positions. They understand which play is right and why, and they remember it. Most of their correct plays are reference plays. They're reference positions. They've got it ingrained in their mind what's right and why, and they understand it, and they've done their homework. They're not just Albert Einsteins, although many of them are plenty smart, and it certainly doesn't hurt. But deliberate practice is how you're going to get better. If you want to go through these exercises, the tools are there for you. Extreme Gammon will show you instantly what's right and what's wrong, and it's all been rolled out for your first and second rolls. So don't be lazy. You want to improve? You have the wherewithal to do it on your own. Thanks. Bye-bye. This is Phil Simborg on behalf of the USBGF. Hope this will help you. Bye-bye.